What's up, guys? Hello, hello. Another Wednesday night live stream, and I'm doing that thing again where I'm using my phone to stream from my office, and I think it worked out pretty well. Last week, I got my chat up on my computer, so I'm going to kind of be looking in this direction some of the time. But anyways, I hope everybody's doing well. It is Wednesday. The work week is over halfway over now, 2 days left. And I see Cichlid23 was the first one in here. Thanks, man. And Mickey's here. Mickey, I hope all's well over there. And hope everybody's doing good. I have been staying busy around the house and at work. Work has been picking back up. People are out and about and getting their cars fixed. So that's nice that work's picking back up. Stuff going on around here. I did put some plants in this tank, and I've been slowly siphoning out this sand. On this video, or maybe it was a live stream, somebody commented about the sand long term is not great because it's so fine that they thought I should get it out, and I agree with them. So as I do my wire changes, I'm siphoning out sand from the bottom. It's going to take a while because there's 50 pounds of sand there. In the back, it's like 4 inches thick. Up front, it's like at least 2 inches thick. It's a lot, but I'm just going to do a little bit at a time with my wire changes, get it out there, and replace it with some probably carob sea. I did place an order for the Ohio Fish Rescue. They mentioned it in their video. They ordered 1,500 pounds of gravel for a couple projects they got going on with their tanks. So I did order some extra substrate for myself at the same time, because if I gotta have stuff freighted in, it's gonna come on a semi truck because it's going to be a pallet full of gravel. I went ahead and got some stuff for my fish room. Nothing crazy. I did find a website, and I thought it was kind of cool. I share it with you guys. Talking about heat packs. I use the UniHeat 72-hour packs, which is this guy down here. They're all different colors. It's kind of like a way to differentiate what heat pack you're using. But I found this website. I'll have to find the link to give them the credit. But they have these graphs that show like peak temperature of the heat pack and how long they work and how they trail off. And the 72 hours are very flat on their temperature, and they peak at like 100 and I think it's like 10, maybe 110 degrees, but they stay pretty flat, where some of these other ones get really hot real quick and then they die off. I might share this. I really need to like remake this into my own content and then make like a blog post, because this is very informational when it comes to shipping fish, especially now that it's going to start getting warmer out. This could be very beneficial, but this information's out there. I just basically screenshotted all the graphs and put it on one page and print it out, and I use this for my reference. But the title of the video is about catching plecos. So my Tequila Sunrise Guppy tank, which is just a 10-gallon tank that's in my kitchen next to my sink. It was basically what Tequila Sunrise Guppies bred outside last year in my pond. I brought them inside over the winter, and they need to go back outside here shortly. Today was like the first day where we didn't have a frost advisory. And watching the weather, we're starting to see lows now only like the upper 50s. So once I know it's like steady in the 60s at night, I have no problem putting guppies out there. They'll be A-okay. But that tank that they're in has a lot of algae in it, and there is some like pest snails in that tank, but they're just not cleaning it very well, and they're actually not even populating that well either, and there's a lot of algae growing. So I thought I'd take one of these super reds and put it into the guppy tank. And my live stream, I think it's okay. It looks like it's kind of freezing on my desktop. Hopefully it doesn't crash. But anyways, I thought I'd catch one and put it in the guppy tank. And there's a little fish net. It's a 2-inch or 3-inch net on top. couldn't catch one of these guys. They are fast, and I want to figure a way to catch them easier for when these guys are on the website for sale and I need to pull one. I gotta find a quicker way of catching them, because there's some fish in my fish room that when somebody buys them online, pygmy cories are one of them. They're extremely hard to catch because they're small and they're fast. Same thing with these guys. So I just thought, like, it's crazy how quick they can get and how small they are. They're very fast. But I want to see what's going on in the chat real quick. Soggy Pits just said, just in time for my drive home. Listen and drive. Sickless23, that one behind you, acrylic. Yes, this is an acrylic 55. Basically got it for free, and it was all foggy. It was being restored, and that's the condition I got it in. You couldn't like see into the tank very well. Couldn't see into the sides. I did a video on how to like restore the acrylic to where you can see into it again. The water's a little cloudy right now because I just did some water change on it, and I was pulling sand out with the siphon, so it kicked up a little bit. So it is a little cloudy right now, but the water is, or the acrylic is pretty clear. Bob's here. Hey, Bob. Hope all is well. Lefty's here. William's here. Jared. Oh my gosh. Why did I just brain fart? Jerry from Papa Shrimp Aquatics is here. Sandy's here. Moonstone. Everybody's here. Chevy Fish. So anyways, was at Ohio Fish Rescue this past weekend. Didn't really do a whole lot there. They had everything done that they had originally planned for us to get done. I stayed there Saturday night, came home Sunday. And then from there, just this week, just doing water changes. I counted my tanks yesterday when I did water changes. I'm at 51 tanks right now. And with planning a garage expansion, I can only imagine what number that's going to shoot up to, but we'll see how that goes. Cichlid said, aren't you drinking vodka in a frozen bar at Mickey? Vodka in a frozen bar. Moonstone, that's actually a good idea. Moonstone said, let them settle into cholla wood or a pleco cave and pick the whole thing up in a big net. That's my solution. So, yeah, I was thinking like snail traps. Like, all right, I need to get them into something, and that's a good idea. So maybe I just need to keep my eye on these caves that are in there. I do have, this is Rapashi down here. That's what these like little chunks are. If you, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's Rapashi in here. The female is in that cave right now, and the males haven't even attempted to trap her in there yet, but we'll see what happens. I'm just trying to power feed them, get the babies bigger, and get the female bulked up, and hopefully get some action going on. I need to change out the polyfill on the box filters and continue working on getting the sand out, but so far so good. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see who else popped in here. GRB's here. Hey GRB. Also said the same thing. Best way to catch plecos is place a log or cave into a larger net and tank. Plecos go into cave, log, etc. Lift net containing log, cave, etc. out and pleco. Yeah, I think that would be the best way, especially with the 55. There's a ton of swimming space for them, so basically I have to set a trap. Here's one of the males. He's coming up front. And I don't know where the other male is right now. And then they knocked off, I don't know, let's see if you can see it. There's a purple disc here, and there's a purple disc back there. I basically 3D printed a bubble diffuser. LRB uses deli cup lids with a hole drilled in them, puts them on the airline at the top, and that way the bubbles come up, hit that, and diffuse out versus splashing. I 3D printed one, and it's just got a slot cut into it, so you can just slide it over the airline. And it was awesome because it was diffusing the bubbles, and it was also, because it's so close to the top, I kept it under the water level just a little bit, and I thought it would grow algae and be super awesome for the babies. The problem is the big guys get on it and they pull it off the airline, and I don't have it as like a super tight fit because I don't want them ripping the airline off the back of the tank. Oh, excuse me. Let me see what else. Zen's here. Hello, Zen. And I saw that Ohio Fish Rescue did a live stream at 7 o'clock with Greg Whitstock, the pond guy from Team Aquascape. He was, or is, at OFR right now. They're kind of going over the plans for the koi pond out behind the house, and caught their live stream, and it seems that they're doing a raffle for was it Dwight Howards tank. It was built on the show Tanked. I think it's $25 a ticket, and Ohio Fish Rescue will deliver it to you if you're in the United States. It's a big tank though. I think it's like 9 feet tall with the canopy and everything on it. So if it doesn't fit in your house, you can always donate it to a charity, to a I don't know, like a retirement home, something like that. Maybe some sort of community center. But it's either way, it's going to end up in someone's hands that's going to really put that thing to use. The only thing that you need to know is that it's not a full fish tank. It is a partial aquarium at the bottom, and then it's a, I guess it would be, what would that be, a paludarium? It's a paludarium, so you could do like a terrarium style up top, or you put animals in it. It's a pretty cool tank. Personally, I wish it was an actual fish tank. This is a fish tank channel, and I think it would be sweet if it was a ginormous fish tank. Unfortunately, it's not, and I think somebody that could do really awesome things with that would be Tanner from Serpent Designs. He's really good at that kind of mixed habitat stuff, so it'd be cool if he entered and he won it, because he could do some really amazing work in that tank. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I don't feel tired. Let me see here. Peacock tank. I think I missed a chat somewhere. Mickey says, I'm having pand effects. Starting to look at Malawi cichlids at order lists, but I have no tank for them. I'm kind of hoping that the airports start getting more and more travelers, so that way we get more and more flights to be able to get fish in, because the biggest problem right now as far as getting fish to your local stores and any wholesalers, any stores online, is that with the limited number of flights, there's really a hard time of getting new fish into the United States right now. They're still coming in, they're just not as, the lists aren't as hardy as they used to be. Papa Shrimp said, at SC, what's the update on your moss holder project? Did you ship me some for product review? Jerry, I was going to, but you're moving, so I saw that you posted all your stuff for sale, so I was like, maybe I won't ship it to him. But anyways, so on the moss holder, the small, they're on the fish room. So I did put moss in them, and I just did it a few days ago, and I put them in a few different tanks, and it takes a little while for the moss to start coming out through all the little holes. But I think it'll be super sweet once those start, growing out, and then basically it's a ready-made moss holder. Like if somebody buys it, they can just drop it in. I figured out what the second compartment was when I was showing them, Actually, let me just open up another box of them. This is what Jerry's talking about. It's these moss holders. So you basically just pop. They come in like 3 pieces. There's 2 compartments. Of course, I can't get... Okay, there we go. So you just take a little bit of moss, you put it in here, and you close it in. And then in the tank, the moss will grow up and out. And then I basically want to grow moss out of these and then sell this whole thing with moss as ready to go. You can put this in your tank, or you can take it apart and use the moss however you want. But I wasn't sure what the second compartment for is. I figured it out. You have to weight these down or they float. So I ended up just taking some gravel out of one of my tanks and put some pieces of gravel in here, and then you just close it up. And these were on closeout. I did buy a crap ton of them. There's 8 to a box, and I bought a ton of boxes of them. They're on closeout, which means they probably won't be carrying them anymore. And I'm thinking, well, this one doesn't seem as bad. A few of the ones I've already used, they don't want to latch very strong. Like, they're like a press fit, but there's no like locks. So like it kept wanting to come apart on me. But this one's actually pretty strong. So maybe there was like poor quality control where some are a little bit looser fitting than others. But once the moss starts growing through it, you know, it's going to really help hold this together. But I did notice that some of them were not the best fit. Update on the moss tree, that 3D printed bonsai tree. I thought I had... I guess I don't have the other one in here. I had 2 of them. It's starting to, I don't want to say take off, but it's starting to grow pretty well out through the trunk of the tree. And it's been a few weeks now. I did do like a video on it, but I haven't edited the video because I want some like results in the video so that way everybody can see like how long it takes for this stuff to grow when it's confined to like holes. And also, speaking of moss, I did put Christmas moss on the website today. I haven't let anybody know yet. I didn't do an email or anything yet. It is on the website. It's Christmas moss. I think it's listed for $4.99 for like a good portion of it. Most people sell like a golf ball size portion of moss. I'm just going to give you like a handful of it. I have a ton of it right now, so I did put some on the website. And the other thing, I dropped it. The other thing is shipping plants. Now that it's warmer out, it doesn't need to be shipped in the styrofoam liner boxes and heat packs. I'm shipping them in the plastic bubble mailers with a heat pack. And with that being said, it's no longer listed as a live animal, so it doesn't charge the $25 shipping fee. So if you want to order just plants and not pay the $25 shipping, you can do that now. The minimum order or the minimum like fee is like $9.99 for shipping, but once you spend $50, it's free shipping. So if it's time for you guys to like re-up on like media pads, I got people that use the media pads, the polyfill ones for their hang-on back filters. If it's time to re-up like medications or fish foods and you want to order like one plant, it's not going to switch it over to the $25 shipping. And if anybody has an issue with that, let me know, because I just did that today and I haven't had an order placed just for a plant yet. So, but you should be able to like order like the, you know, say you got your $50 worth of stuff, you bought like a USB air pump and whatever else, and you want like one Anubias, it'll ship with all the other stuff and not charge you anymore. So that's something I was like been waiting for. Like I knew I wanted not to have that grouped in with fish, because if you want to add just one plant to your order, I need to make that work. And now that it's not 20 degrees out anymore, I'm no longer afraid to just ship out plants by themselves. Sand Creek Aquatics is here. Hello. I think I was like checking right before this live stream. I was checking my like YouTube stats. I haven't done that in a little while. I think I'm almost at 1,200 subs, which is pretty sweet. And then I checked the like hours, like public hours watched, and that's basically what you need to go monetized. And I'm less than 400 hours away, which is pretty sweet because once I hit that 1,000 mark, I was I think just over 2,000 hours away. So now I'm under 400 hours away, which is super sweet. These live streams actually help the most, especially with all you guys, my fish fam that's watching right now. You guys are sticking with me for the 20 minutes to the hour, however long, but times however many people are here right now. There's 26 of you. That all adds up. So that's super awesome of you guys to watch the live streams and everything, and even on replays that helps. So I appreciate you guys watching the content. And I did do a pool video. I filmed it and I kind of ended it. I ended filming it, and I was going to edit it, but now I've changed how I'm doing the filtration on the pond. I do have a biofalls kit from Aquascape, and I'm running a Jabo water pump, which is what I'm using on my flow-through rack. And I originally had the pump in the bottom of the pool, and now I'm redoing it to where it's pulling water from the actual pool, like filtration line. And I actually just worked on that tonight. I had to go buy like 4 different adapters to try to adapt this intake to, because this intake is really meant to be like PVC hardlined into a system if you don't have it set just free floating in a pool or your fish tank. And so I had to adapt it to go to this like corrugated pool filter line. So I was at the hardware store just like piecing it together. I got it to work. But so I'm going to update the video and then edit that and release that to show you guys how I'm doing it's basically just a lava rock biofilter, and I'm going to put some plants in the water. It's a waterfall kit. So I'm going to put some plants in there. I don't know what kind of plants I'm going to put in there yet. Probably like pothos or something like that. But I think it's going to look cool, especially if I get some nice looking above water plants, but something immerse grown. So anyways, I don't know. I'm itching to get some fish out in that pond, and I came up with a way to divide the pond up, and that way I can have more than just one species in there and be able to easily net them out to be able to sell them. So I'm thinking I could fit probably 4 or 5 different species of fish in one of the 500-gallon ponds. And this year I'm running, like I was just talking about, I am running filtration on the pond because I plan on trying to pump as much fish breeding out of that pond as I can. And I do have 2 of them. The second one's not set up yet. I got to set it up. But I want to get this first system up and running and see if there's any kind of changes I want to do before I set up the second one. But that's what I've been looking forward to the most right now. It's just getting to play with the pond. So hopefully here soon, weather is looking better finally. I hope I don't miss anybody, but I'm going to kind of scroll through this quickly. Try to catch up. Mickey says we can still get fish from the Czech Republic in Germany. Like, we still have fish, but the list, like, do I have a list? I don't have a list printed out for this week. But the list, if I would print it out, let's say it's like 30 pages long, is a normal, like, pre all this going on. Right now, it's like 8 pages long, or maybe 10 on a good week. The list, I mean, there's still quite a bit of fish selection at the wholesaler. It's just not like the crazy cool stuff that they're normally, you can order. I've had people ask about ordering special fish in, and they're just not on the list yet. So we'll see how it goes. And I have been switching over to the groups of fish on the website, 614fish.com. So you order now there are still some fish that are specifically you just order like one of, like plecos. It's a single fish. You don't get like a group of them. But let's say like the neon tetras, cardinal tetras, guppies, Well, guppies are mainly pairs if it's a specific strain. I do have male blue tuxedos on there, and don't forget to use the discount code. I think they're listed for like $4.99. But if you're trying to start a line of those and you already got some females, I have a bunch of males and no females. So I need to get rid of the males or try to, order in some females only to try to get the pairs back. I can't sell them as a pair right now because I just have males. So if anybody's looking for males, I have them. I might actually try to do like a clearance on them or do like some sort of group purchase on them, but they look great. I just don't have the ability to sell them as a pair right now. But anyways, I'm listing things as a group because I wasn't planning on people buying like one Cardinal Tetra. That was something I just never thought would be, not possible, but typically if you're buying Cardinal Tetras for like a nano tank or for a community tank, people are normally buying like 10 to 20 of them. And I had somebody order one. And like, that's cool that they're buying a fish, but by the time I, pump oxygen into the bag itself, and all this stuff, one Cardinal Tetra, if I make 20 cents off of it, that profit's gone by the time I pay for that bag and all that stuff. So I'm going back to how I used to be set up with groups. It's a group of 5 Cardinal Tetras, it's a group of 10. And the other benefit from this is the more you buy, there's a more discount put into it. So, 10 Cardinal Tetras are cheaper than 5 if you price it out per Cardinal Tetra. So anytime there's a group, like, if it's available 3, 6, 9, 5, 10, 15, 20, the more you buy, the cheaper it actually gets per fish anyways. Because it's saving me money because I can put more fish in one bag and I have to like bag multiple stuff. I'm just kind of passing some of that savings on to you guys. So, yeah. So a couple new things on the website. So the group fish and then the moss is on there too. Oh, and the biggest thing I guess right now is the plants are now shipping separate, so it's cheaper on shipping. Zen said, "Oh my God, I want that tank. Screw charity." Yeah, so charity is that's basically for anybody that can't really have the tank. So obviously, somebody in an apartment's not going to be able to probably fit that. They can donate it to charity. They can donate it back to the OFR. It's not like Greg wants it to go somewhere where it'll be really enjoyed by a ton of people. So I think that's why he kept mentioning like some sort of charity. Personally, like if I were to win it, I would maybe reach out to like St. Jude's hospital. I think that's a great organization to invest in anyways. But I think with the kids and everything there, they would really love to see some cool fish and some sort of like reptile or amphibian in that tank. I think it would be super sweet. But that's the charity I would pick. Let me keep moving. Is that the 20-foot long one? No, this tank's 8 foot long. If we're talking about the one that's being raffled off for charity, it's 8 foot long. The 20-foot one is the Bellagio tanks. Ooh, Toronto Aquatic says, "Hey, SC, I broke my first bone today. That sounds terrible. Hopefully it's nothing major and you can heal up quickly. But that sucks. Hopefully it was like a finger bone, but I'm guessing maybe like an arm or a leg." I just scrolled down. He said it was my knuckle, so it's hard to type. You got me. So Zen said, okay, fine, you can send me the Lowell Moss compartments and I'll test them for you before you 3D print them yourself. So what's funny is I never even thought about 3D printing these. I've been 3D printing ledges, where it's basically just a flat, basically this. I've been 3D printing this for months and months, getting them to grow and then having like a mat. And then I printed a couple where you can put a suction cup on it. And then my goal was to put them on tanks and have it go like all the way around my shrimp tanks and basically create a whole second layer to the fish tank. And I was trying to print them really wide. I can only go so wide on the printer, but on like a 10-gallon tank, I was hoping I could fill basically most of the tank, you know, going across and then go around and basically make like a 2-level tank, have like a moss level where it's just flat, basically plastic all the way around with moss on it. Shrimp can be on the top, and then have everything down below. I still don't see that second male yet. There's still where there's that guy still out there, and then the female's poking out. Female's pretty big. But anyways, before I even think about printing these, I have like 100 of these things. Like I said, there's 8 to a box, and there's, I don't know how many boxes. I think last live stream I counted, but there's at least 20 boxes up there. So I have a lot of them. Easily 20 boxes, but yeah, I mean, that could be something in the future. I could 3D print these and make it a little bit better, where these latch a little bit stronger. And they're kind of an odd shape, kind of like a cone. I think like printing them in a round, I'd rather see it round. I think that'd be kind of cool, like a disc, and then that's how I could propagate them out to sell them. A lot of the stores and online, you buy it, comes on these steel mesh. This is actually for a different project, but I just happen to have it sitting here. They actually come in different like hole spacing. But that's like when I bought this Christmas moss from my local fish store like forever ago, it came on a piece of steel. And I just dropped it in my tank, and it just kept growing. I just take handfuls out, put it in a different tank, and now I have it in a ton of my tanks. And I have a lot right now to where I can sell some of it off and not notice like any difference. So I think I put like 10 portions up on the website, and it should be just listed under like all plants, if anybody's looking for Christmas moss. But Blue Dreams have been selling really well, and I really need to do a video just on the Blue Dream tank itself. That tank is exploding. I mean, exploding with shrimp. There's thousands of shrimp, and I'm not even exaggerating. There's thousands in this tank I got out there. It's a 55, it's a glass tank. It's not an acrylic like this one. But there's, every time I go to catch out like a juvenile shrimp, I pull my little net out. It's a little shrimp net. You know, it's small. It's like the size of this thing. I just go in there and go just sweep a juvenile out. And I look in there, and there's probably a dozen little shrimplets in the net. They're everywhere. That dwarf aquarium lily, that's the move. If you want a shrimp tank to really, really explode, it creates so much surface area on the surface. The bottom of those lily pads are just covered with shrimp. You can basically just like start lifting up one of the lily pads, and you'll just see all the shrimp start falling off of it. It creates so much surface area for the biofilm to grow that the shrimp just really, really thrive with the lily pads. So if anybody's trying to breed for a profit, look into doing dwarf aquarium lilies, because that extra surface area for all that biofilm is huge. And also, like, it completely took over the top of my 55 tank. I actually just cut out a bunch of the lily pads yesterday, and I just toss them out into the pond. They'll decompose out in the pond, and snails, or if I end up putting shrimp outside this year, they'll all munch on all of that. But yeah, that's one of my tips. The lily pads. It's made that tank so productive on breeding out those Blue Dreams, and I just sold a bunch yesterday I had, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I had 3 local people come pick up shrimp. So it's kind of nice. I do have local pickup like integrated in the website now. It used to be if you were local to me, you had to go check out and it would say like, hey, if you're trying to do a local pickup, you have to email me. You'd email me saying, hey, like I'm trying to pick this up from you. I'd give you a code that basically gave you free shipping. You still place the order on the website, so that way my inventory would update, and then I would just email you back and forth like, hey, like I'm available after 6 p.m., blah, blah, blah. Well, now it's integrated to when you check out, you click local pickup. It doesn't charge you for shipping. You check out as normal. I get the alert, hey, somebody wants to pick up local. And then from there, I can just contact you like, hey, I'm available all this week after 6 p.m., free on the weekends. What time do you want to come pick up? And usually everybody's just been picking up same day after 6 o'clock. So if you're local to me, you want to buy products, and you don't want to pay for shipping, you can just select a local pickup at checkout. It's working. A bunch of people have been doing it already. So that's been awesome. A lot of people are finding me through Google search now, which is super cool. I've had phone calls. The problem I'm having, though, is that I'm getting people that are asking about products, but I'm getting a lot of people that are just looking for help on like problems they're having in their fish tank, and I'm trying to listen to a description without seeing what's going on. And like I'm glad to help people, but like these are just people that are Googling like a fish store or whatever. So they're calling me and they're like, hey, I bought this fish, not from you. I bought it from Petco, and I bought like 6 of them, and 3 of them died. Okay, like what's your water parameters? That's like the first thing. Like, is this tank cycled? Is it not cycled? Well, I bought the 10-gallon fish tank with the fish, like at Petco. I'm like, okay, your tank's not cycled. You're probably overfeeding the fish and creating ammonia spikes. You know, it's really hard. And same thing with cars. So I can really relate this to the automotive industry with being at work. You know, ever since being, you know, able to work on cars and fix them, I've always had friends and family and everybody call me and say, hey, my car's making this weird noise. What do you think it is? Well, I don't know. It's like saying, the best way to describe it is calling your doctor and saying, I don't feel good. What do you think it is? Like, they have nothing to go off of. But, you know, with that, you know, I've been getting phone calls. I just started screening every phone call I get now. I do get like a lot of spam. These robocallers are crazy. And, you know, it's definitely been worse over the last year that, you know, my phone number is tied into, you know, all my commercial accounts and all this stuff. So my phone number, I'm sure, has been sold off to all these marketing companies, and they're just robocalling it anyways. So I always screen my calls. And I try not to because of the business if people are calling me, but with like, you know, Medicaid phone calls or AARP, or I've had like these warranty companies call me about cars that I either just don't even own or I haven't owned in years. Like they're like, oh, your factory warranty is about to expire. Do you want to buy an extended warranty? I'm like, I haven't had that car in like 5 years. But anyways, I do try to pick up. So if anybody does try to call me, I do try to pick up. But I also work a full-time job, so texting is the best way to get a hold of me. Honestly, is texting. Emails, I try to answer emails when I can. I actually haven't even answered today's emails yet, so that I'll have to do that after this live stream, is try to get on the computer and answer emails. And I don't even know if I answered yesterday's emails, but if it's like something important, it'll get like starred. So if it has like keywords like order, it gets starred, which gets pushed to my phone. If it's like a general question, it's kind of cool. It sits in my inbox until I can actually get to the emails, which I will do tonight. But yeah, so staying busy with everything. I don't even know where I'm going with this. This is me getting all ADD on this stuff. But let me see what's going on in the chat. and it just jumped. If anybody else live streams, do your guys' chat just like jump all of a sudden? I think what it is because I'm scrolling slowly and like trying to stay in line, and then all of a sudden like it wants to refresh or something, and then it just shoots me to the bottom. So then I always lose where I'm at, and then I feel stupid trying to figure out where I just was. And I can hear my dogs are going crazy. It's Havana. Havana's barking. There must be somebody walking a dog or something. Benny's Aquatics is here. Hello. Mickey said one Tetris strange order. What was that? LRB, Bob, or LFR mocking you? It wasn't anybody that I know. They ordered other stuff. They did order like some Cory catfish. I think they ordered a bristle nose, and I think it was maybe black neon tetras, and then it was like one cardinal tetra. So I'm like, okay, like I shipped them, with it. So like, if somebody ordered one cardinal tetra and paid $25 to ship one, like that's crazy. But no, they already had an order in, but they just wanted one, and especially with tetras, they want to be in a school. And I do have one neon tetra that is by himself. He's not by himself. He's in with a bunch of guppies, and it's right next to a cardinal tetra tank, and he's always trying to swim to the cardinals. Like he wants to be with his people. Part of me wants to just put him in there, but I don't want to have to like monitor every cardinal tetra I pull out to ship, off to somebody and be like, all right, where's that one neon that was in there? But I just need to get more neons in, that way he can be comfortable with a school of neons. I didn't do any wholesale fish orders this week. I didn't go to the local store, and I didn't go through my California wholesaler. I've been keeping my eye open for some diamond tetras for Zen. I owe her some diamond tetras, and just nobody has them. So that's like another thing with the fish. Like it was super common. Like every single week, it was there. Even my local wholesaler had them, and then all of a sudden they're gone. So I'm just waiting for those to come in, and I think I'll ship her some of these to play with the diamond tetras. And now the dog's clawing at the door, but yeah. So I didn't do any orders this week. I'm trying to thin out what I have because I do want to expand out to the garage, and that means I have to break down all those tanks. So I don't know. I still need to break down the first rack and then move into the flow-through rack. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is, once certain things sell out, not bring them back in, or do like a crazy order, like let's move some fish out. That way I can, break down some of the tanks. But, it's just planning. It's a lot of logistics with trying to get the car done that's in the garage. And that's a whole nother channel I could do, is on car stuff. And then once that's done, I have to do the shed. Like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of money. So I just got to figure that out. But I'm just glad that, Ohio is lifting a lot of their bans right now. Restaurants are opening back up. I believe bars are even opening back up. So I'm glad to see this progression to opening things back up. And they're finding out more and more that all these virus-related issues were just labeled due to the virus, and then now that they're actually like digging into it, there was underlying conditions. Somebody had heart failure, and they labeled it as COVID. So it's nice that the governor is opening stuff back up, realizing, okay, it's maybe not as serious as they originally thought, but they're still taking their precautions. You still have to try to stay 6 feet away from people in public and stuff like that. That would be Sorry, I got chats that are popping up on my phone, and I'm like reading them. I'm getting distracted because I got two chats going on. But so yeah, I'm like hoping with everything opening back up, more and more fish will be available. Is what I was getting at. What are the dogs barking at? Mickey says my closest LFS have 40 really nice cardinals for $3 each. Came in from a leasing tank. What's that mean? What's a leasing tank mean? Don't know where to put them. We'll probably eat a pistol fry. I do think that my local wholesaler has them listed as jumbo cardinals, and I'm not sure what the jumbo is in his terms, but they are more expensive. So with the wholesalers, the bigger the fish, the more money it costs. The cardinals I have, they're an inch and a quarter maybe. They're not jumbo by any means. They're not tiny, but they're pretty small. But what's kind of nice about them being small is that you can pack a lot more into the bag. I did get these big bags, so I sold a guy, I think 20 cardinals, and I shipped him 24. But I did 2 big bags of 12 and 12, and it fit into my shipping box really nicely. So having these bigger bags can pump a ton of oxygen into them. And the other thing I did with that is the morning of the order that I shipped it, I opened one heat pack and got the heat pack going because they take a few hours on the 72-hour ones. They hit their peak temperature probably like 10 hours in. So before, I think I was having some issues with these cardinals getting too cold, is that when I go ship the order, I open the heat pack, put it in the box, and then the box is at UPS or USPS within 20 minutes of me doing this all, because I'm trying to get them out and moving. I think what's happening is they're sitting in like non-heated warehouses before this heat packs can really kick in. So on this order, I opened it in the morning, so that gave it like 8 hours to warm up, put in the box, and then because this thing was technically started for 8 hours already, it was the guy paid for next day shipping, which was super sweet. That was, I think, $48. I wish everybody would just pay for $48 for next day shipping, because it's a lot less stress on the animals. But I put a second heat pack in there at the time of shipment, just in case like the fish get delayed, and for whatever reason that first pack burned out sooner than normal. There was a second heat pack going to take up any gap in that shipping. But yeah, so bigger bags, super awesome. And I think I'm just going to try to ship the fish in the biggest bag I can, instead of being like space conscious of like, many single bags. I'd rather just use big bags, a lot more water, ton more oxygen, helps fill up the box better to pad everything in shipping. So yeah, that's just a different way I've been trying to ship, and it's been working out. And I have been shipping all live fish exclusively UPS for the last few weeks, and I've had good luck so far. I haven't had anything come back with like crushed boxes or anything like that. And they're shipping fast, which is really nice. So for an example on that, priority mail to some places would be like 3 days. Well, for the same cost, UPS was doing it in 2 days. So like it's a win-win. Not spending more money on shipping, it's the same amount, and it's getting there quicker. So that was super cool. Benny says, would you say my heavily planted 20-gallon is overstocked? It has 3 cardinals, 8 harlequins, 1 gold ram, 5 cories, 1 killie, 1 bristlenose pleco. I would say it is, to me, no. It's not overstocked, because the cories are going to stay on the bottom. The pleco is going to be on decorations, on plants. It's kind of out of the way. Harlequins don't get big, and you know the Cardinals aren't. You got 3 of them. Being that it's heavily planted, overstocked is a term. It's got to me. It's got a different definition. What's overstocked? Like your nitrates are through the ceiling, and you're doing water changes, or you're not doing water changes. Now, if you said you had a 20-gallon with no plants, I need to open this door and see, because they're really barking. Havana was like losing her mind, and now Charlotte was barking at my door. Yeah, it's like little kids. Just making sure they didn't kill themselves. So anyways, oh, her tail's going to rip that off. So overstocked, no, not with that many plants. If you said it's heavily planted, no, it's totally cool. And really, the only thing you would have to really monitor at that is your nitrate level. But if it's heavily planted, it's probably consuming all the nitrates anyways, because it's not like you got massive fish in there. Well, now they're going to wrestle in here. Like, guys, it's like toddlers. My toddlers are photobombing right now. Yep, they're about to wrestle, guys, and crash into things. So, overstocked, I have a good example. Let's go take a walk. Walk with me. These dogs. They're about to start wrestling. It's going to sound like they're killing each other. They're not. They'll be fine. Lights are going off, but let me flip you guys around. So originally, this is a 29. There was over 200 cardinal tetras in this tank, and there's some harlequin rest boars in here. They actually need to move up to this tank, but you know, over 200 fish in that tank. You know, would that be overstocked? No, they're tiny. You know, there's adequate filtration. The water's being changed on these tanks often. Right now, I'm kind of been spacing out because I do have plants in all the tanks to help with any nitrates. So instead, water changing it daily, I'm water changing every other day now. Just got to keep an eye on everything. But the other tank we can look at... Oh, as I just hit stuff. This would be an overstocked tank. There's over 100 cichlids in this tank. And let me make sure there's not like a dead one. I haven't lost a single cichlid. Now, I have had them jump. There is a cichlid. There's just one cichlid. This is my black neon tank. There's one cichlid in there. He jumped tanks because I don't have a lid on this. Because of the way the plumbing's set up, it's kind of a pain to put lids on these upper tanks. But it did jump. It's in with black neons, and he's actually not terrorizing them. No neons have died in this video, but I did have them jump. But yeah, there's over 100, so that would be, and that's a 10-gallon tank. So if I titled a video over 100 cichlids in a 10-gallon tank, people would lose their mind. What they don't know is it's a flow-through rack. So the water comes in. Let me flip you. Water comes in constantly. Hits this tank. Drops down to this tank. That tank goes down to a trickle filter. And then it goes through all... Wait, where's my finger? Goes through all these tanks. It zigzags. Comes out, goes into this tank on the back side, comes out, and it zigzags through all these tanks. And look at the duckweed just disappearing, which is super awesome because this thing used to be covered, and slowly I'm getting rid of it. But there's live plants, like this is all Anubias in here. There's Crips and Nubius in that tank. There's Val and more Nubius in this tank. I'm using basically 320 longs down here with plants to pull nitrates out, and it's got duckweed and water changes. Is super easy, but that whole system is 250 gallons, 260 gallons of water volume. So when people hear 100 cichlids in a 10-gallon tank, they're like, holy crap. Let me see if you guys can see this outside. So there's the biofalls. The pump's not on because, like I said, I was working on it. Here's the pond. The first one, there's going to be a second one over here. But I have that. It's kind of a sneak peek. There's a video going to be coming out with that soon, hopefully. But anyways, yeah, you hear 100 cichlids, 10-gallon tank. That's nuts. It's really not when it's really a 250-gallon system. If you heard, I have 100 cichlids in a 250-gallon aquarium, people wouldn't bat an eye. Like, it's still a lot of fish, but 100 cichlids in a big tank is nothing crazy. Anyways, the other thing, I just saw Dan's Fish, which Dan's Fish is on after me, which is in a few minutes. He did upload a video about bringing in discus. My local wholesaler breeds his own discus, and I really want to start selling discus, but I know I need to slow my roll on that. I need the proper tanks and temperatures for those. He's actually keeping them, I think, at like low 80s, and they look good, and it's super awesome. They're bred in my water supply. Like, I should do, knock on wood, I should do fairly well with them. But I really want to start bringing in discus, because the discus is the fish. That's my bucket list fish. I've always said that if I could replace the 75-gallon, I really want like a 6-foot long, or I don't know if I can fit it, maybe an 8-foot long tank. I really want I want a reef ready tank so I can do a sump underneath of it and do maybe a rimless setup. But I really want a really nice tank right here. It's so hard to do this. A tank right here with discus. That's the fish that I really want, and I've wanted forever. And really what got me on that was LRB. After being at his house and seeing his discus community tank, it sold me on like how beautiful those fish really are. Like, pictures, they look awesome in pictures and videos, but once you see them in person, that's what really sold me. Like, I already knew they looked great, but seeing discus in person, I really want some. I'm not even interested in breeding them. I just want them as a show tank, as a tank I can enjoy and not have to worry about profiting off of that tank. But that's my goal, is discus. And getting sidetracked again, but let me get in the chat. My hour's almost up. Dan's Fish, like I said, is after me. I'm sure somebody has or will post a link to Dan's Fish. I just saw that Zen and Pam did. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. I don't know, being that I'm using the phone chat now, I have no idea where I'm at. And of course I was in top chat, so that sucked. I don't know why it defaults to top chat. That's stupid. I feel like every YouTuber that live streams always complains about this thing being in top chat. It's like a legit thing. Bob, so I was just scrolling up to try to see where I left off, and I stopped, and it's on Bob's comment from 8:45. Steven, when I passed my state exams and became a RN, I had everyone asking me for medical advice. Cousins asking for female issues. Not a fun scenario. Yeah, dude, like, I can't imagine that. Especially with, like, family members. Like, that's gotta be weird. Like, hey, Bob, I got something going on down there. Like, what is this? Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of things that are really hard to diagnose without seeing. And with cars, it's always sounds. Or the dreaded one is, my check engine light came on. What could it be? that's the one I hate the most. Like when my friends are like, "Hey, my check engine light came on in my truck. What do you think it is?" No idea, bud. No idea. Scan, at least give me a fault code to go off of. And then, you know, I'm a technician, so I'm like a specialist in like with Audis. I'm also certified BMWs, so I'm good with BMWs. I'm good with Audis, and then I'm okay with other cars. I can apply my skill set to diagnose other cars. But with working on specific brands, you get to know them inside and out. So when it comes to, you know, someone says, I have a Chrysler minivan, it's got this going on. Like, well, I've never seen it because I don't work on those, but I can, you know, I can figure it out. And then the other thing is Google. Even I will Google, if I don't know the car, I'll Google it. But anyways, I think it's probably 9 o'clock. Let me see. Anyways, guys, Dan's Fish, he should be going live right now. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching me. Hopefully I'll see you next Wednesday, and you know, I'm going to try to do live streams here and there on the weekends. But thank you guys for real. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll see you guys on the next stream or the next video. But have a good one. Check out Dan's Fish. See you guys.